All right, let's continue on the points of superstars and how to build big, duplicatable, profitable real estate businesses. So the first point that we're going to discuss today is entitled Detaching Yourself from the Outcome. Detaching yourself from the outcome. So Mike Ferry teaches 4 things. He wants you to show up. There's a lot more than 4 things, but these are 4 things that come to mind. He says, show up, pay attention, tell the truth, and don't be attached to the outcome. That's kind of your mantra for the day. Show up, pay attention, tell the truth, and don't be attached to the outcome. So being detached from the outcome and realizing that failure is part of the process. You don't need every single person to say yes. You know, Danny, when you're making those calls, you're making the 17 to 20 calls an hour, you're talking to people, you can't be attached to the outcome. Most of them, almost all of them are saying no. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to say yes, except the fact that not everyone is going to be a yes. There are some people that you think might be a lead, and a day later or 2 days later, you ask them more questions, you learn they're not a lead. That's totally fine. We are not attached to the outcome. Next point, development of your database. So database is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. We all have databases. The question is, are we really working those databases? So Dave Buss is working his database, I know that, and working it effectively, and that's probably your largest source of revenue and income is your database. People that come back, repeat, referral business, right, Dave?
Yeah, right now, I mean, there's not much going on, but ideally, that's how it generally works. It's
Yep.
Referral business is there's no amount of money you can spend on any other marketing that work anywhere near as well as referral business.
100%. Database is absolutely everything. You know, you can cold call, you can door knock, you can call expired listings for sale by owners, you can call for rent by owners, you can do divorces, you could do probates, you can do it all. But ultimately, the best thing is those are just one transaction here and there. Once you pull them into your database and you absolutely work on a consistent level, your database, then the referral business is the gold mine. That's something that almost becomes an annuity over the years. You know, people coming back a second, third, fourth time, referring 2, 3, 4 of their friends. I mean, it's amazing. I won't say constantly, we frequently get calls from past clients. They just want to sell. It's the easiest appointment ever. They already know you. They already trust you. They like you. They want to support you. There's not a whole lot of argument there. So that database really should be developed and nurtured. So very important. We all have databases. Is everyone working the database? I guess that's my question. There's this one interesting thing that we can do with our databases. You can split them up into 3, A, B, and C. The A people love you. The B people like you. And the C people know you. Anybody that doesn't like you, love you, or know you should not be in the database. If they don't know you, why are they in the database? Like you call somebody up, they're like, who is this? That's not a person that belongs in a database. You don't need to delete their name, but you shouldn't give them a whole lot of credit. And ultimately, remember, the goal of a database is to get a 10% return from that database. In other words, if you have 200 people in your database, you're getting 20 transactions a year from that database. So people that love you once a month, check in, give them the service they deserve. Those are the people that are referring you the most business. People that like you, every 2 months, check in, market update, how's it going? What can I do for you? And the people that just know you, once a quarter, get in touch with them, give them a call, find out how you can help them and transact with them and who they have as referrals. Next point. Next point is a simple 4-letter word, and it's the word next. And Dunya, hello, we were just talking about this word, although we didn't say that, but these clients that come and go, Sometimes there are just whack job clients. There are just weird people. There are crazy prospects. There is just, you go on appointments, like, what the hell? Like, they want to cut your commission. They whatever they want to do, you always have the right to say, next, like, I'm out of here. So it's a great little word that we use a lot in this office and a lot in business. Your time is your absolutely, without question, your most valuable asset. You can never, ever get it back. And you don't have time to waste. And don't throw good time after bad, or good money after bad. If you have a client that is just a total waster of your time, cut them off as quickly as you can. Learn the word next. Next can be used when prospecting. Somebody is getting frustrated on the phone with you and you're prospecting. I don't need this. Next. You know, you're following up with a lead. They're stringing you along and you have determined that they're not a real lead. Next. I'm not going to hold on to that person. You go on an appointment for a listing or a buyer appointment. They're totally unrealistic. They want to list their house for $2 million and you're thinking this thing's not worth a penny more than $1.2 million. And you present that and they don't get it and they aren't willing to budge. Next. Next. It's a great word. Next point. Check out this mindset. I don't have anything until I actually have something. I don't have anything until I actually have something. For example, a verbal listing taken doesn't mean anything. What is a verbal listing taken? Does that become a verbal listing sold? Like, no. Does it become a verbal commission check that is appearing? No. You don't have anything until you actually have something. As real estate people, we are masters of thinking we have something when we actually don't have anything. Oh man, I just had this great conversation on the phone with this guy. He owns 2 properties, one in Manhattan Beach, one in Redondo Beach. It's like, you know, a combined like $4.5 million of value. He's thinking about possibly selling, although, you know, he had to run off the phone, so he couldn't really talk. And he said, call me back in 3 months. And it's like, okay, I'll call him back in 3. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You didn't even ask him like questions about what is his motivation to move? Why does he need to do this? What's important about selling? Where is he thinking about moving the money or going to next? What happens if it doesn't sell? Like, you've got nothing. And all of a sudden in your head, you're already making plans. God, what car should I buy? Should I get a convertible? No. I don't know if I should get a convertible. I'll get an SUV. Range Rover. Okay, I'm getting a Range. Hey, everybody. It's like, slow the hell down, dude. You don't have anything until you actually have something, right? Set an appointment. We are in the appointment setting business. That is our job every day. When you're out there prospecting, what is the goal of prospecting? Hey, it's to find a lead. It's to set an appointment. We're not just in the lead collecting business. Leads don't pay for anything. You can't go buy that car with leads. You've got to set an appointment. You've got to tie it down. So remember that mindset. I don't have anything until I actually have something, an appointment. Next point. Next point is learning to mirror and match people. Mirror and match personalities. We were just talking about this morning with Chad. Mirroring and matching. So if you're not familiar with the different personality styles, don't worry about it. You know, anybody that follows and tracks kind of Mike Ferry's coaching, Mike talks about learning personality styles. And Mike says that we're actually, I think what he says is we're losing 25% of our business because we don't understand personality styles. So there's 4 basic personality styles, right? There's the driver, the type A personality, right? Bottom line it for me. Give me an answer quick, right? Don't tell me about the pain. Show me the baby. Just like, let's go. I don't have time for this. What's my house going to sell for? I don't know the whole presentation. Give me a price. Can you do it or not? That's a driver. Analytical personality is somebody that needs facts and figures. Somebody that's super, like, you know, think of an engineer. Think of an accountant. someone that just loves numbers, loves data. An amiable is someone that would do almost anything for anyone. Just the nicest person you've ever met in your entire life. They'll bend over backwards for you. They don't want to upset anybody. That's amiable. And then expressive is the life of the party. Boisterous, loud, fun. That's an expressive. Now, there's different characteristics to these personality styles. They behave in different ways. Do you have to learn each one? It'd be nice, but in the meantime, you can start by mirroring and matching with people. Let's say you're door knocking, a total stranger. You don't know what's behind that door. You have no idea what's coming up. So how do you know? I don't know if this is a driver, if it's a type A personality, if it's going to be someone that's super analytical or expressive. All you have to do is mirror and match them, their rate of speech, their tonality, their body language, all of that. So if you knock on someone's door and they open the door and it's this sweet elderly person that's talking kind of quietly, are you going to come in there like a freight train? Hey, how's it go? It's like, whoa, no. Naturally, you're going to slow down your speech. You're going to soften your speech. You're going to change your body language. You're not going to have these big hand gestures. Maybe you're going to lean in a little bit. Maybe you're going to smile more. This is what we naturally do. Start to pay attention to what is this person, this prospect, this client, what are they displaying and how can I mirror and match? If they're speaking slowly, you're going to speak more slowly. If they start to talk fast, you're going to talk a little faster. What ends up happening is these people that you're communicating with, these prospects, they end up subconsciously thinking, I really like, have we met before? Like, I feel like we've known each other for years. Like people have said that to me. God, I feel like we've known each other forever. And there's a rapport that is built because you guys are speaking the same language. I mean, you know how some people say roof on a house? Some people say roof or roof. I say roof, but when I'm prospecting and I talk to someone, they say, oh, it needs a new roof. I say, okay, so it needs a new roof. I totally get it. Some people say I have to wash the house down or wash the car. I say wash, I don't say wash. Some people say wash. Guess what? I say wash when they say wash. It's not that big of a deal. They don't even know I'm saying it. Say, okay, so once we get the house washed down, these little things, if they speak more like nasally, if they have like this kind of I'm not going to mimic them, or if they have a really deep voice, I'll just lower my voice. That's how their family speaks. If they speak super slow and you're speaking super fast, what do they think about you? This guy's trying to pull something over on me. It's a slick salesperson. I don't trust this guy. If they speak super fast and I start speaking super slow, they're thinking, this guy's an idiot. He's stupid. Like, I'm not going to trust him with my listing. So it's all about developing that rapport, developing that consistency in everything that they're offering. You want to just mirror and mimic and match. It is insane to see how quickly you can develop rapport with someone just by mimicking, mirroring, and matching. Now, are you having a thought like, gosh, they're gonna call me out on it? If they're speaking slowly, I don't want to speak that slow. They're gonna be like, why are you speaking slow? Do you think I'm an idiot or something? Like, they won't even reckon. You think that's gonna happen? Even when I remember once I was speaking with I think she was an Italian lady, and I started speaking a little bit more like she did, and we were just having this great conversation. I don't know how to speak Italian. There was a certain rhythm. There was a sing-songness of the way that she was speaking. And I spoke, it was an expired listing, and I set the appointment. And it's not that I was making fun of her, it's just that I wanted to really be in a very similar cadence to her. And all she was thinking is, some reason I trust you. I've hung up on the past 12 agents, and for some reason, I'm on the phone with you. So I said, great, why don't we go ahead and meet? What day is good for you? You want to do Thursday or Friday at 4? So mimicking, mirroring, and matching. By the way, that doesn't just work on prospects. That works with personal relationships. It works with friends. It works with your kids if you have kids. It works with everybody. Mimic, mirror, and match. Next point. This is a fun one. The obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. Who here likes obstacles? Not a lot of people like obstacles. No, I hate obstacles. I try and avoid obstacles. Guess what? The obstacle is the way. And what does that really mean? What it means is this. Think about what obstacles you have maybe in your mindset. What are some limiting beliefs that you have? What are some obstacles you're facing in your business? In other words, the biggest challenges, the ugly ones, right? What are obstacles in your schedule? What are obstacles that come up that are distractions? There's obstacles that get in our way. What obstacles do you have in maybe your level of participation? I don't have time to participate in calls like this. I've got to devote, 30 or 45 minutes once a week. I can't do that. What obstacles do you have? Consider the fact that the obstacle is the way. In other words, all the success you're looking for is just on the other side of those obstacles. Thank you. So consider the fact that once you identify your obstacles, your greatest weakness can actually and will actually become your greatest strength. What if you determine your biggest obstacle? I have a fear of prospecting. I am absolutely terrified to pick up the phone, call a stranger, and prospect them. Okay. Then you make a conscious decision. You know what? God damn it. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am over this. I'm going to learn how to prospect. I'm going to get over my fears. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to be a victor. I'm making that conscious decision. And then you study and you practice and you role play and you read the great book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. And you get over your fear of prospecting. And then all of a sudden you become a master prospector, right? Chad says King Chad Thomas. That must be left over from high school, Chad, even though Zoom wasn't around in high school. King Chad. So King Chad, otherwise known as Chad, when he first started prospecting, he couldn't even imagine going to a stranger's door and knocking on it. What? I don't get it. Are you kidding me? Doesn't even make sense. And now 3 hours a day, right, Chad? Day in and day out, no matter what, 30, 40 contacts every day at the door, having conversations, total strangers with a huge smile on your face. That was the biggest obstacle for you in the past. It's like the biggest, hairiest, ugliest obstacle. And he's like, damn it, I'm taking this thing on. I will not be denied. I'm moving this thing forward. I don't care. There's a wall in my way. I'm crashing through that thing. I'm not going around it. I'm not going over it. I'm crashing right through it. And that's what he's done. He's taken that on. So what obstacles do you have in your business? I guess that's the first question. We have to identify, right, what those obstacles are. Can everybody think, just think in your mind, what is the biggest obstacle right now for you moving forward? What is the biggest obstacle for you not achieving your goal? Do you have a goal to sell 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 homes this year? What is the goal? Whatever it is, pick a goal. Everyone's got a different goal. What is the obstacle that is getting in the way? Can you identify one or two or three things? If you can, write them down. This is my biggest obstacle. Write down, one or two or three, or more if there are more. Then really determine, who can I learn from? Who can I be mentored by? Who can I participate with? Who can I collaborate with to learn how to efficiently get past this obstacle? What video do I have to watch? What seminar do I have to go to? What book do I have to read? What podcast do I have to listen to? The information is out there. It is 100% out there. In fact, the information is probably in this brain trust on this call. So I am always available if anybody wants to reach out to discuss challenges and ways to overcome them. Does anybody have a specific obstacle they're facing right now that they want to kind of bring to the surface on the call? And it can't be about social media because I don't know anything about social media. That's the one obstacle I can't help you with.
I guess, so this is Yasmin speaking. I guess my biggest obstacle is actually getting on the phone and making those calls and spending 2 or 3 hours doing that. It's like, for some reason, I have a fear of it, and it's so crazy because
Yeah.
I'm a people person, and I'm in property management, so I'm in everyone's face all day, every day. But getting on that phone and having people yell or hang up or whatever, for some reason, gives me like mad anxiety.
Isn't that amazing? And yet you're a people person. Like, how is that possible? So have you tried prospecting in the past? And if so, how much did you try?
I have tried it in the past. I've done a lot of like door knocking.
Mm-hmm.
Door knocking is not my issue. It's just getting on the phone and calling people. And I don't think I've spent enough time doing that because of my anxiety behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll tell you something interesting. Let me find that note from yesterday that I was looking at. And it is right here. I actually was shooting a video about this yesterday. All right. The video is entitled Rage Against the Fear, Yasmin. Rage against the fear. Rage against the fear. Do we all have fears? 100%. We all have fears. So by the way, that book I mentioned earlier, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, is an unbelievable book by Susan Jeffers. So point one, rage against the fear. Sometimes what you need for a breakthrough is just, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
There's another saying, it goes, face your fear, it will disappear. Run and hide, it will magnify. Not only does it rhyme, but it's true.
Right.
So sometimes, and what Susan Jeffers talks about in the book is sometimes the fear of doing something is way worse than actually doing that thing. In other words, if you were to come to my office, Yasmin, and I said, you know what, let's get on the phones and make some calls together. There's some camaraderie, right? There's accountability. We're doing it together. I'm doing it. You're doing it. Hey, let's both get yelled at right now a couple times. Let's see how we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And we both get on the phones and just facing it and powering through it and saying, you know what, I'm going to make 100 cold calls like right now as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And just, wow, that person yelled at me. The more you do it, all of a sudden you realize it's actually not that scary.
Mm-hmm.
The other point that I made in this video is kind of funny. You want to look pretty? You got to get dirty. You want to look pretty? You got to start by getting dirty, right?
Right.
You've got to fortify your mind and you've got to fall in love with being uncomfortable. You've got to fall in love with being uncomfortable. Once you say, you know, I have a fear of this, that makes me seriously uncomfortable. Like I'm really uncomfortable doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? You're uncomfortable. That means you're growing.
True.
So what's so cool is that with anybody on this call, anybody that is consistently prospecting, what you ultimately realize is what used to be hard is now easy.
Mm-hmm.
Door knocking maybe used to be hard for you. Now it's easy, right? I don't see her on the screen. She just dropped off the screen. But Dunya, I was talking with her this morning. She's like, I don't really like being at the doors, but I love being on the phones. How is it possible? She was
Right.
just on the call, and yet she's like, I love being on the phones. Wow, Dunya, if we asked her, like, why do you love being on the phone? She would probably say something like, I don't know these people. They don't know me. If I'm at the door, I'm actually facing a person. But if I'm on the phone, it's like I can say anything to them. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know them. I can't see them. They're a person, but I'll probably never talk to them again.
Mhm.
So the last thing you have to decide is, am I going to be a victim or victor? The choice is yours. So something that I did in the past, just to really here, Danny's back at the call. Hey, Danny.
Hey, sorry about that.
So no problem. So Yasmin just chimed in. She has a fear of prospecting on the phones, right? And we were talking at the top of the call today. Danny is on the phones for sometimes about 3 hours a day, right?
Yeah, that's my goal is 3 hours. That's a challenge I have, is sticking to the 3 hour time block. Sometimes it's 2.5, and it's easy to get caught up in the chatter at the office. But
okay. And you will talk to, in some cases, 17 to 20 people per hour.
that's correct.
Right? So tell us what that's like. I mean, tell Yasmin and myself and everybody on the call, what happens? Like, what's the worst? Tell me what the worst thing that's ever happened for you being on the phone, Danny. Has somebody come through the phone and like punched you in the nose, or have they yelled at you? Have they threatened you? Like, or what's the experience generally? What's it like for you?
For the most part, the list I call is not one that's called all the time. I haven't been calling expireds, and I understand that's a different beast than just doing something like circle prospecting or calling absentee owners. People I'm calling aren't solicited every day, so typically they're willing to give me a few seconds of their time to say what I have to say. And generally, I try to talking to the locals, and I'll say that either we have a new listing locally you might be interested in seeing, or is there anything in the world we can do to help you? How can we be of service to you? Because most people I speak to are familiar with my broker, Dave. Just a couple days ago, let's see, last Friday, this happens every so often. I called somebody and I just said, hey, my name is Daniel. I work here at Caskey Real Estate Group. And the guy immediately cut me off. And I don't mean to be explicit, but he told me, hey, learn how to cold call and go fuck yourself. And that's what he said. And so that put a damper on my mood, of course. And back maybe like a year or two ago, that would have, hurt my feelings or whatever. But now I feel comfortable that I'm at a point where I can laugh that off and move on. And that's an important aspect of making calls, I think, is like Aaron said, just the whole philosophy of saying, okay, next, because you can't get hung up on that. And it happens inevitably. And
why is it, Danny, that let's say a year ago, that would have totally screwed up your mindset and your mood, and now it doesn't? What's changed?
I suppose doing it over and over again. A year ago, I might have thought, wow, that guy's right. What the hell am I doing? But now I know sometimes people are having a bad day and you can't get through to everyone. And at the end of the day, you're just trying to be of service and provide value to people. And oftentimes they don't recognize that immediately, but that doesn't mean that you should just stop what you're doing, because it's only a matter of time until you find somebody who you may be able to help and provide value to. And that's, and I still definitely have days where I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to, when you encounter that and you don't feel motivated to move on. But that's, I think, when it's most important that you do just continue. And then that helps, you get a little bit of thick skin about it. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to help people. So
yeah. And guess what? That's what professionals do. They do it when they don't feel like it. They do it when they don't want to, right? So part of this also, I feel, Yasmin, is do you have this burning desire, right? Are you meeting your goals or surpassing your goals? Or are you falling short of your goals? If you're falling short of your goals, then you must talk to more people, right? You have to have more conversations. But then you have to ask yourself, how badly do I want it? What price am I willing to pay to get it?
Yeah.
Right? If it was just easy, everybody would do it, right? Oh my God, I'll make 3 calls, get $1 million listing. That was easy. I'll do that every day. Well, it doesn't quite work like that, right? So how badly do you want it and what price are you willing to pay to get it? Now, sometimes in the beginning, so Danny, you've been making a lot of calls. Now, it's not that big a deal. So is it a little bit of a uphill battle in the beginning? Yes. Do you have to will yourself through it? Yes. Do you have to kind of motivate yourself and psych yourself up? Yes. Do you have to have maybe accountability partners? Yeah, sure. Do you have to prospect with other people? So I don't know where your home base is, but our office is here. We have calling stations. We're in Hermosa Beach. Jump in the car, let us know, come and call out of our office, and we'll all cold call together. That'll make it much easier for you. Seriously. Yeah.
It would. You know, so I beat myself up when I get something wrong.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm in property management, so I'm learning something new every day, especially with the residents that I have. And when I don't know something off top, I get so pissed at myself. So like when it comes to cold calling, from the beginning of when I first got my real estate license, I never teamed up with anybody to do cold calling together because I was so scared I would sound stupid. So I've been trying to fight this battle by myself because I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm not educated on this or anything. It's just I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So I would be up for cold calling in a group. That
Absolutely.
would make me very comfortable, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you know, perfect is just disguise for creative avoidance behavior. That's all it is. In fact, when you expect to screw up, it's called failing forward. No one's perfect. Perfect is an illusion.
Right.
Perfect doesn't exist. Now you get better over time. But the beauty of doing it out loud in front of people is that you can make fun of yourself. It's okay to not be perfect. You're
Right.
learning, you're failing, and that's okay. In fact, you want to hyper learn. You want to fail fast. You want to really screw up. You want to do a big, ugly belly flop into the pool, to learn how to do this thing. That's okay. So, yeah, I mean, perfection is a myth. It doesn't exist. And really what it is what I would recommend is seriously come into, just schedule a time, come into our office, or find a buddy and do some accountability. And hey, let's meet and let's go ahead and just jump on the phones for a couple of hours together and just make it fun. Play some music, stand up, put a smile on your face, and start talking to people. What you realize, what Danny said, that one jerk that he had on the phone, that's how many times that happened out of 100 calls that you'll make, Danny?
Not often. Maybe 1 out of 100 if I'm not lucky. Like it doesn't happen very often. But
Maybe. Right. So what most people do is they take that one thing, that one moment of distress, and they hold on to it and they keep it and they protect it and they put it out into their future and they say, I would never want to do that again because now all those calls I'm willing to make in the future, they're all going to be like that to me. I don't want any more of that. Whereas what they really should be doing is like, listen, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe this guy just stubbed his toe. Maybe his dog is sick. Maybe he lost his job. Who knows? Mark, what have you got?
Yeah, thanks. I was just gonna say, Danny, that's awesome. And it's a great illustration of the numbers game, right? So by doing so many numbers, the gravity of that situation was proportionally inverse, right? So the meaning of it lost its meaning to it just because you've been doing it for so long. So I just want to say that was really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
That's actually a great point. The more you do, the less meaning these little one-off scenarios have, right? They just have less meaning. I remember the first time I ever got a call from an attorney, on an escrow from the other side. The attorney was threatening me and they wanted to cancel, and I was freaking out. But then that kind of battle hardened me a little bit. I learned from that situation. And now if, stuff goes sideways a little bit, I'm like, all right, listen, let's deal with it. It doesn't I don't get fazed by it anymore. That's just what happens when you have more experiences. So prospecting is virtually no different than any of that. It's no different than any of that. So yeah, just take that biggest weakness and turn it into your biggest strength. From this, you can become a world-class prospector. the best ever, the best that exists. You know, what would it take? What would it look like for you to become the best ever at prospecting on the phone
Right.
specifically? What kind of practice would you have to do? What kind of scripts would you have to learn? How many hours per day would you have to do it? You know, anybody can do anything for a day or 2 or 3 or even a week. So it'd be, and the thing that you may or may not know is after doing that, after conquering that, you'll feel impenetrable, unstoppable,
Mhm.
right? Undisputed champ. So good stuff. All right, let's stop there. Does anybody else have any other issues that they want to bring up real quick that we can discuss as a group? Going once? Going twice? Excellent. Guys, thank you everybody for your participation. Really love seeing you all and some new faces every week. Go ahead and share with your friends. I invite you to be on next week's call. We'll continue with these great points on how to grow your business to the higher level, to the highest level, and make it a great week. Go crush it, everybody. Take good care.
All right, thanks.